There are some days I wish I wasn't building the studio. There, I said it. Some days I wish I was just a wife and a mom and that I didn't have this pull inside of me to build this studio and to help other women launch their dreams. Because it would be a lot easier if I wasn't growing the studio on top of all of my other responsibilities. And I feel like a lot of other women feel the same exact way. It's a tough balance to feel like you're living a half life. When you're with your children, you're thinking about your work, your to-do list, your next lead, your next milestone. And when you're at work, you're thinking about your children, about playing with them, about engaging with them and pouring into them. It feels like you can't be 100% happy in either place, and that drains you. You want to have that balance, but it's extremely tough to find. This episode is going to be about that tension we working mothers at home feel. Thank you to everyone who subscribed to my channel so far. I really appreciate all of your support. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Magnolia, a Catholic wife, homeschooling mom, and graphic designer building a branding and editorial studio during the margins of my day. I used to think I missed my window. I'm building anyway. This is In the Margins. One of the major differences that working moms outside the home and working moms inside the home feel is that tension we feel when our children are playing or asking us to engage with them. And we can't because we're building something bigger than ourselves. You see, when you work outside the home or you send your children off to school, there is a barrier. You're at work, yes, you think about your home, you think about your laundry, you think about your to-do list, you think about your children. However, you can get your work done uninterrupted. You can get your work done uninterrupted because your children are at home, because you don't see the messes, the laundry, you don't have to stop to cook or get snacks. You can focus 100% on what you're doing and close things out. When you're working from home with your children, it's almost impossible to close out tasks fully unless your child is sleeping, watching TV, or somebody else is engaging with them. And even if they are engaging with somebody else, they still want you, mama. And then when you get home, for a lot of women, the work stays at work. But when you're a working mom from home, the work is still there. You're always having that siren call of, I could just send this email, or I just need to close this out. How can I get my business further ahead? I felt this tension so strongly recently. My son asked me to make him French fries. In the past, I would have said yes, no problem. But this time, I had to stop and think about what I had planned for the next day to see if it would fit into my process, because I don't buy French fries and just keep them in my freezer. My son has 8 out of the top 12 allergies. So I make pretty much all of our meals and snacks at home, including French fries, cleaning the potatoes, peeling the potatoes, cutting the potatoes, putting them in water, boiling them, putting them in the stove, flipping them, baking. It is all a process and it takes a long time. Before I could answer, my husband saw my sad, conflicted face and he said, I feel so sad. I never wanted this for you. That was my husband's heart feeling my pain. I never wanted you to have to choose between your children and your work. I never wanted you to have to say to your children, I can't, I'm too busy. Like I spoke in my last episode, he's 100% supportive of what I'm building, but there is a cost. I will have to say no, either to myself, to him, to the children, to clients, to certain dreams, because I am only one person. I'm a one-woman show running my home, my homeschool, my business. I have no team or no support right now. One day that will change, but that's not today. So many days I would love to split myself into 4. One for me, one for my husband, one for my children, and one for my business. But I can't. That means I have to be even more intentional about what I pour into, what I say yes to, what I say no to, and what I have to defer. Discernment is so key in this season so that I can make the best use of my limited time and bandwidth. We all each only have 24 hours in a day, and not everyone's 24 hours is the same. I like to plan a week at a time, but even then, there is only so much that you could fit into a block of a week. When you have to think about home, homeschooling, children, husband time, scripture, rest time, errands, going out and about as a family, personal development, networking. In my mama heart, that burns me to have to tell them that I am not available because I might be making dinner or because I'm working. Even something as simple as making breakfast pulls you away from your children. There are so many mornings when we wake up, one or both of them ask me, Mama, let's play. And I have to say, I'm sorry, not right now. I'm making breakfast. If I play with you now in a half hour, you're going to be hungry and there won't be any food. I can play with you later. And I am so thankful that I learned that matter-of-fact statement, I can't right now, because that same matter-of-factness applies to when I'm building my business. I do not believe in allowing guilt to stop me from being the full woman I envision. I believe that it is 100% possible to have a thriving marriage, a present motherhood, and a successful business, and I am in pursuit of that. If I can tell my children that I am not available while I am making food, I can tell them, which is for their benefit, I can tell them that I am not available because I am working, because that is also for their benefit. My business is not a hobby for me to just pick up and put down. It is to improve our family, and it is being built with intention. Through this process, I am teaching my children that patience is a virtue, that seeking improvement and following your dreams matters, that some needs are more important than others, that sacrifice is required of all of us, and that when you are called to something, to be obedient even through the struggle, that we all have to pitch in and help, that a family can't run on just one person alone, that building something for yourself and for your family is holy, is worthwhile, and possible, that you can build as a family and go further than if you were to build alone. Do they 100% understand? No. They regularly ask me, Mama, are you working today? And it hurts my heart a little. This is one of the areas that leads to so much frustration, because the same three tensions that I experience with my husband, I experience with my children as well. They want my time, energy, and attention. When I first started my build, I actually woke up when they did, and I would feel so much internal frustration because I wanted to pour into my business as soon as I gave them their breakfast, but they wanted that connection time. I had a million tasks I wanted to get done, and I felt like I was stuck. Do I play with my children or do I build my business? And that just led to more frustration, not at them, but at myself. I would spiral and I would lament, why didn't I build this earlier? It would have been so much easier to do this if they weren't here. How am I going to do any of this when I have so many people vying for me, and that I couldn't make any progress working in short spurts of time? I was frustrated with myself because I put myself in this position. But rather than stay stuck in lament, I thought, I need to implement better systems. I am a woman of action and solutions rather than self-criticism. I believe that God gave me my children and that there's a time for every season. And if this is my season to build, it's my season to build. Being stuck in I should've, would've, and could've is not helping anybody. I quickly realized that I couldn't get meaningful work done with my children and husband awake. Like, for example, yesterday, I was able to get so much work done because my children played beautifully all day. Bought them new toys over the weekend and they were engaged with those toys the whole time. They didn't bicker, they didn't fight, I didn't intervene. It was bliss. Today, however, was the complete opposite. They wanted me to play with them. They wanted us to go on a long walk. They wanted to go to the park. They wanted to sit and read. I think it was to make up for our lack of connection yesterday. I barely clocked any hours of work. And you know what? That is okay. That is the part of working from home that I have just made peace with. This lack of consistency led me to look for better solutions. In the winter, it was actually easier for me to wake up earlier, but with the time change, I just couldn't get out of bed before 6, 7 a.m. and they don't wake up much later. One day we were driving and the Clutterbug podcast kicked on, and the author of Good Morning, Good Life came on, and she spoke about her book, and her book has transformed my mornings. I believe that was a godsend moment. It has been so transformative because I'm actually waking up and getting work done before they wake up. Through this book, I've learned that it's not just my mornings that matter, but my evenings as well. Do I wake up early every single morning? No, I am still a work in progress, but I am more consistent, and that helps me show up for my children so much better. I am less irritated, I am less stressed, I am less frustrated about all my to-dos because I got a lot of them done before they even woke up. My internal nagging of you are so behind, you're not going to be able to get everything done. You're missing these moments with them because you're so in your head. have diminished. Becoming a working mom has also made the time that I spend with them even more intentional. When I'm playing with them, I play with them. I leave my phone outside the room. I do set a timer, and that helps me stay 100% locked in on what we're doing. When they talk to me, I look in their eyes. I pay attention to what they say. I engage with their movement because I believe that quality is more important than quantity. When they ask me to play with them, I communicate with them, either if I can or if I can't. I set a timer so that they know exactly when I will be available. I explain and I show them the work that I'm doing. I include them in networking calls so they can meet some of the people that I'm meeting. I show them the work that I'm doing, and one day, if they're interested, I will show them the tools of the trade. I am not as present with my children as I dreamed I would be. But that's the season that I'm in, and we're doing the best that we can. Another tension we have is that we do want more children, but at this point, I don't know if we will. My 5 and 3-year-olds are at such an independent age. They are both potty trained, they both sleep through the night, they play amazingly well together for long stretches of time, they get dressed on their own, they pick up after themselves, and I am in the process of expanding their chores, wiping counters, learning to sweep, learning to vacuum, putting away their clothes, because we all contribute to the home. It's everyone's responsibility. But seeing them so independent makes it hard to want to start over, especially as I'm just starting to gain momentum with my business. Pregnancy and a new baby take a lot, and I just don't know if I'm willing to put in that type of work right now. Since we have no family support, a new member of the family will strain us even more than we are already strained. These tensions have really stretched me, and I am in the process of testing new ones. I will share those soon, but next week I want to talk about how mentally exhausting it is to stay present while building a business, what tools I use to keep me present when I'm at capacity and beyond. I don't have a tidy answer for any of this yet because I am in the middle of it. Some days I feel the pull so strongly that I even wonder why I'm doing all of this. And then I remember the woman I am becoming in this tension is someone one day my sons will be extremely grateful for. And not because I built a studio, but because I showed them what it looks like to keep going anyways. If this resonated with you, check out last week's episode where I talk about the tension in my marriage, and subscribe so I'll see you next week in the margin.